In this help video, I will walk you through a complete demonstration of how to register payments and how to manage the various collection steps that an invoice might undergo. This can be done by going to the sales option and then clicking outstanding invoices, where you will see a list of steps for handling collections. It is, however, important to note that this is an example and that every company has its own collection procedure, and thus the system should be configured to suit your own collection procedure. A collection procedure is defined as a series of steps that an invoice follows until it is finally paid in full. It is the responsibility of the administrator to keep track of the invoices and perform the action of each step in accordance. The first step is to register a payment. To do so, go to the blue process bar and click on it. Below it, you will see a list of outstanding invoices that you have sent to your various clients. To register a payment on a specific invoice, go to the green $sign and click on it. When the pop-up appears, confirm the payment date, the amount received, whether the customer has withheld VAT, and whether this payment clears the balance. After doing so, click on the Accept Payment button to clear the payment. The invoice line then no longer appears on the list of outstanding invoices once the payment has been registered. In case a client sends payment but it is not the full amount to be paid for that invoice, you register this by clicking on the Register Payment icon. Then you indicate that the amount that the client has actually paid. Let's say the client sent half of 3,000 shillings, which is 1,500 shillings. Note that this payment clears the balance automatically and checks itself, indicating that this invoice has not been paid in full. Accept the payment by clicking Accept Payment button, and note that the invoice line still appears but only with the balance showing. A payment made can also be deleted from the system. To do this, click on the Register Payment icon. Then below the Accept Payment, you will see the invoice's history, showing when the invoice was created, the payments made, and the remaining amount. On the payment entry, there is a red cross indicating Delete Payments. The provision of this action is so that a wrong or faulty payment can be deleted and then corrected. This only happens when the system has been configured to not automatically book incoming payments, leaving room for payment verifications. That is all about registering payments. For the collection procedure, below are some 4 steps that an invoice can undergo. Your organization can have less or more steps in your collection procedure. For this example, just invoice means that the invoice has just been sent to the client. If the client exceeds the time limit allocated for the invoice to be cleared, the system raises attention to that invoice entry, calling the administrator to action. The administrator could then notify the client about the overdue payment via email or a phone call. Only after you have reminded the client should they then move the invoice entry to the next state in the process. To do so, click on the Move to drop-down and select the next state in the process. For example, from just invoice, the administrator could then send the invoice to remainder. The invoice entry is then moved to the next outstanding invoice list. Note that Escape Safaris has been moved from just invoice to remainder. The collection procedure then continues with the system always bringing to attention an invoice entry that has exceeded its time limit in the state process it belongs to. The administrator then notifies the client that their invoice status is overdue, and then the administrator moves the invoice entry to the next state in the process. A client can, however, make a payment in any state in the collection procedure, and the payment is registered under the payment option in the same exact way. In the last state of your collection procedure, if the client still persists on not clearing the invoice, the administrator could then create a credit note to cancel the invoice. This is to be able to reconcile your book of accounts and preferably get a refund for any VAT that you might have paid for that invoice, as the payment was never received. To do so, click on the eye icon under the action to view the invoice. When the pop-up appears, click on the Create Credit Notes button to cancel that invoice. To avoid such instances, it is always advisable to create pro forma invoices instead of creating regular invoices, as pro forma invoices can also appear on the list of outstanding invoices and still undergo the same collection procedure. This is, however, configured under the Sales Setting option. See our Sales How to Configure video to learn how to do this. Now you can be able to register payments and manage your organization's collection procedure. Familiarize yourself better with the system by checking out our other videos on the Uhasibu website.